Hey, this is Judge White's bringing you some Black Ops 2 action. Got the All-Stars with me, some fellow friends from Sakred. I've got Babs in here, Taboo, Lexicon, and Ranger, and we do a pretty good job against this team. Now, I don't really want to talk about that. Instead, I wanted to talk to you guys today and answer the question of, should I be smoking weed? I posed that question on my channel, got a lot of great responses on there, and I'll kind of talk about those. But I want to give you my 2 cents and give you my point of view on that question. Now, just so you guys know where I'm coming from, I grew up smoking. Right after high school, I started smoking in college. It was just kind of a cool thing to do. And I did get addicted to smoking. I also socially drank, and I liked having a drink every once in a while. Never really got addicted to that. And I also tried smoking marijuana once. I was over with some friends and they had it, so I figured, oh, I'll go ahead and try that. But I never really got into the whole smoking marijuana scene just because it was illegal. Now, today, of course, we are seeing that in certain states it is no longer legal in certain quantities. So that's why I wanted to make this video, because this is going to be a topic that comes up more and more, and I think we're going to be looking at more and more. So let's get into that though. All right, first up, some of you guys pointed out the fact that marijuana seems to be less addictive than, you know, smoking cigarettes or drinking alcohol, and some of you guys pointed out that it's less harmful than smoking cigarettes and smoking alcohol. I'm going to give you those 2 points. I'm not going to disagree with you. Some of you guys said that smoking marijuana was not addictive at all, and I'm going to totally disagree with you guys there. I do know people that are addicted right now. Now, it might not be addictive to certain people, just like in my case, alcohol wasn't something that I became addicted to. So I think we're going to see people that do get addicted to certain things and people that don't get addicted to certain things. My question is though, do you really want to take that chance? I mean, nobody sets out by saying, hey, I want to become an alcoholic, right? There's people who start off socially drinking, but then they start doing a little bit more and a little bit more, and before they know it, they're full on addicted to that alcohol. Like I said, there are people that aren't going to be, but there are going to be some people that do it. So, you know, my recommendation is, even if it's not as addictive as some of these other things, you know, why take a chance with something that can be addictive? And the same thing with the harmful thing. Just because it's less harmful, it's still harmful. I mean, we can't really smoke anything without it being harmful. So why do we want to even go that route? Now, I can already hear some of you guys saying, hey Jay, you do not have to smoke it. You know, there are some ways that you can eat it. I know we've all heard the joke about brownies having pot in it and everything like that, and that is something that can happen, and I'm going to give that to you. Yeah, you are correct in that. But I'm going to take it back to the addiction side of the things. When you become a dad, or when you become a youth pastor, or when you become a big brother, you come to realize that, you know, you have little people in your life that look up to you. And let me take it back to the alcohol type thing. Like I said, I actually enjoy having a drink, and I haven't had a drink in probably 15 years though, because I want to be careful with the example I set. You know, I may be able to handle alcohol, but what happens if my kids are not? What happens if my kids see me drinking alcohol and they become addicted to it? You know, in my family, there are quite a few people who struggle with alcohol. My dad is an alcoholic. My brother right now drinks, he smokes, he also smokes pot. My dad also smokes pot. I've also had 3 close people that have actually OD'd on drugs and died. For me, this is just not a path I want to lead my kids down, you know, not in any way. I don't want to bring them closer to these things. In fact, I just want to be the example that says, hey, you don't need these things in life. A lot of times people smoke, a lot of times people drink, or they do drugs to kind of cope with things. And there's other reasons that people do some of these things, you know, just to kind of unwind. But a lot of times it's to cope. I'd rather lead my kids in an example that, you know, turns them closer to God in order to cope, you know, instead of turning to alcohol and instead of turning to drugs or anything like that, you know. So from my point of view, this is not something that I want to even take a chance with them, you know, developing an addiction or having a problem with these things. Now, another reason that I stay away from marijuana is just because of the Bible. You know, I'm a Christian, so I tend to look at the Bible and what it says, try to figure out how to live my life. And I know some of you guys are not, but Peter tells us to be alert and of a sober mind so that basically we don't fall. You know, smoking pot, you know, kind of clouds the judgment a little bit, you know, if we're honest. So, you know, we don't have a sober mind. We are not alert. So the Bible warns against that. The Bible also says that wine is a mocker, beer is a brawler. Whoever is led astray by them is not wise. Now, obviously, you know, wine and beer are different things than smoking weed, but I think the same principle applies. You know, if you're led astray by these things, it's not the wisest thing to do. Now, there are some things, you know, there is another verse that says that wine should be given to those that are perishing. So, you know, this is where I want to end it on. You know, what about medical marijuana? To be honest with you guys, I don't know, because I see people that are on different drugs that seem really harmful. If marijuana is a better treatment option, then that is probably something that we should look at. And there's a big if, because honestly, like I said, you know, I just don't know. I'd be inclined to trust a doctor, and I would be inclined to, you know, have medical marijuana as long as it's doctor supervised. You know, I was talking to Freak about this, and he kind of pointed that out, you know, because there is a potential for abuse of this. So as long as it's doctor approved, you know, doctor supervised in some way, or we could kind of, you know, prevent people from really abusing this, you know, I would be somewhat inclined to go along with this, or to more or less, you know, trust doctors with making this decision. But that's my point of view. That's my 2 cents. Let me know if you agree. Let me know if you disagree about anything. Feel free to, you know, talk about anything. But guys, as always, take care and God bless.